talked about this movie last week when Kevin Dillon and Jerry Ferrara were here. The Entourage movie in a theater near you on June 3rd, and one of the stars, certainly outside of the Entourage quartet that we've come to know and love, quintet, I guess, right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Haley Joel Osment here on the program. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too, man.
So you, in this movie, we described it for the TV audience, not the radio audience is back.
Yes.
You play what in the Entourage movie?
Play Travis McCreedle, who Billy Bob Thornton plays my father, and we're Texas oil billionaires who have funded this movie that Ari and Vince are working on. And because we have all that leverage, I'm sent to Los Angeles to sort of sit on their heads and cause them problems, and I cause even more problems than Billy Bob was hoping. And
so, in essence, you are the part of the plot of this movie, part of the entire spine that goes throughout this entire film.
Yeah, and most of my stuff is, having a lot of really crazy head-to-head, battles with Ari, because I'm one character that he should have the right to tell to buzz off in so many words, but because we're the financiers, he can't. So I become a real thorn in his side.
When did you get a wind that you could be part of the Entourage movie? How did this all come about?
I just went and auditioned for it, I guess, end of 2013, and it was a really highly sought-after role, and I went in and met with Doug and didn't think too much of it, and then 3 months later got this call from him that said, "Don't shave, don't cut your hair." And I didn't, as you can see in the movie. And yeah, just went in, found that Billy Bob was playing my dad like a week before we went in. So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It was very cool. Yeah, he's a legend. So
yeah,
and going on, I mean, he is from Arkansas, I believe, originally. And my parents are from Alabama, which is different Southern accent, but sort of creating a voice and a character off of him was kind of fun. Playing his progeny.
I'm here with Haley Joel Osment of the movie Entourage that again premieres on Wednesday, and tonight is the premiere here.
It is.
In Los Angeles.
I'll be seeing you there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be there. I just, I don't know. You tell me, because you've been around this town quite a bit. I mean, I'm not in the movie. So walking the red carpet, what is the etiquette here? If you're not in the movie, you can't, I mean, because the studio is asked. And it's just like, I don't know what I'd be doing.
At least some photos, like especially a premiere like this is going to be gigantic. So I think
it is.
You won't feel out of place.
No, I can easily feel out of place. Don't worry about that. I'm a very sensitive guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, what is the etiquette though? I mean, if you're not in a movie, you can't walk the carpet, right?
I think it's just more if you have something to promote, So if you have something to talk about, I think they will,
Well, I have this show,
which you do. That's plenty to promote, yeah.
Right. So, and then I would walk down the red carpet and say, "Do not refer to me as Fox Sports Radio's Rich Eisen." That's the way I would just say, even though that's fine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I am technically that,
it's okay.
But we're trying to brand the show for Fox Sports Radio.
Exactly.
And various premiere radio. There's different ways that I could be referred to. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
That's a perfect talking point to go down the line with. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Because I mean, I don't know. You definitely didn't tell, but you're Best Supporting Actor Academy Award nominee for The Sixth Sense back in the day.
That's right.
Would you prefer to be introduced as that? Is there a specific way you prefer to be introduced at all?
I guess it's something that, like, it's not a bad thing to be remembered for. But yeah, like, I guess that's sort of the interplay that when you do something like that is that, people bring that up and then it's your job to, move on to the next thing. So, talk about the next thing. Yeah.
Because we had
about Rampart or whatever it was.
We had Matt Perry here about a month and a half ago. Yeah. And those jamokes that are over there across the studio.
Hold on a second. Those two
jamokes.
Right.
You're Brockman, you are separating yourself.
There's the wall here, and I'm on the other side of it.
So we come back from break, and they play the Friends theme. See, you're laughing at that, right?
Yeah, I could just imagine he's probably had that happen about 10,000 times,
Right, the way that people have told you that I see dead people and all that sort of business, right? And so I looked at them like, what are you doing? As did Matthew Perry, by the way. He's like, what are you doing? He's here to promote The Odd Couple.
He was here promoting The Odd Couple. Yes. Matthew Perry brought up Friends in the first segment. And he went
ironically, he wasn't like, gee, I wish I was still Chandler Bing, or, wow, I remember the days with... I don't want to get into this with you, Haley.
At least I have no musical cue that's popularly associated with me, so that's one.
I guess
one thing that you.
I guess that's true.
Now. Yeah.
Now, we talked about this off, backstage about the spoiler alert about The Sixth Sense.
Yes.
And how what the I guess etiquette would be, because you were involved essentially with one of the biggest spoiler alerts in the history of film.
Yeah,
in a way, right?
Last night I like to watch Game of Thrones with my girlfriend, and I had to go ahead and do it last night because I figured someone would spoil it for me today, because that's the world we live in today. And I remember when The Sixth Sense came out, on the AOL message boards in the late '90s, people were managing to try and spoil it for other people.
AOL message
in the
boards.
old chat room thing and everything, which the studio I believe was worried about at the time. But now with Twitter, as you said earlier, it would be impossible. The movie would not have the same. People would not have the same experience with it because people would ruin it immediately.
But you think it's I mean, at what point do you think that should be forever, right? For movies, in perpetuity. A spoiler alert, you got to hold on to it, right?
Well, one thing with sports actually is that my dad's a big Falcons fan, and we try and watch important games together. And now with 4 fantasy leagues and a big group text in my phone, I can't wait for till the afternoon to go, or till the next day to watch it. I'm like, I'm sorry, I got to do this now. I'll just know.
So a Falcons game, you try to DVR a Falcons game?
We like to watch together. He grew up in Atlanta, was a big fan since he was a kid, and sometimes I'm working or we're doing things on Sundays. So we used to record the games and watch them together, not just a few years ago. And now I got to be on fantasy 24/7.
If you've got Julio Jones, it's like, sorry, Dad, we can't
which
DVR.
I have had, and the year he broke his foot as well. Yeah.
You're with Haley Joel Osment of the Entourage movie, at Haley Joel Osment on Twitter. So what's your fantasy team name? What's your football fantasy team name?
It changes. We have sort of a compulsive thing where we change our names a lot, and it's kind of surreal. Yeah, it's chaos.
I can't handle that.
So a lot of the fun of it is seeing what people, and a lot of them cannot be said on the air, as you can expect.
They're not safe for work.
Not many of them aren't. But usually, the perfect name, a popular and a well-received name, will be one that's sort of a mixture of the surreal and the inappropriate. So, yeah.
Well, I think one of the more popular fantasy team names this year is going to have something to do with Deflategate, right? I mean, that will definitely.
Boston fans will be getting that.
Yeah,
for a while.
PSI something. Certainly if you live in Miami, PSI Miami. PSI New Orleans or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever won a fantasy league?
I've had this league I've done for about 5 years. I've come in second twice, but never won. So
you've made it to the Super Bowl and then lost.
Yes, which is
sorry to hear
pretty
that.
terrible.
Are you in a baseball fantasy too, or no?
I cannot devote that much time to watching it. I can usually watch or be up on every Dodger game, but to watch the whole league, I just can't do. I tried to do an NBA fantasy league one year, and I couldn't. Football's great because it's pretty much just Sunday and a couple other games, and I can just let everybody know that I'll be useless that day, and then the rest of the week I can work.
I'm with Haley Joel Osment here on the Rich Eisen Show. We're going to be back in a minute's time. We'll talk about the Dodgers. 844-204-RICH if you want to call in and chime in on anything we just discussed, and we'll hook you up with Haley Joel Osment right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Back in a minute, right here. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. The Entourage film hits a theater near you this Wednesday. They're just throwing it out there on a Wednesday. Haley Joel Osment, who has a prominent role in the film, joins me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So the Dodgers are your team.
Yes.
What do you think of the Dodgers this year?
It's maybe the greatest team since I was born that I've got the chance to watch. They won the World Series the year I was born in 1988. So whenever that next time happens, it's going to be pretty special for a couple of reasons.
So you were out of the womb when Kirk Gibson hit it, or
yes, I was.
Oh, so you were. So
I was just a few miles away.
You were?
Just having entered the world. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. You know, and I always, being a New Yorker, always saw that video about is a referendum on Los Angeles sports fans.
I know what you're going to say. I think what did Costas say at the time? When you see the ball go up and you see red taillights.
All the taillights of everybody leaving.
We're a large city. There's a lot of bandwagoning, but the core Dodger fanship that you see around Dodger Stadium before every game is a really cool thing to be part of.
It is. But then I moved out here.
Yeah.
And tried to leave Dodger Stadium after a full 9-inning game.
Yeah.
And almost ate the upholstery in my car because I was getting so hungry.
Yeah.
It turned into a very almost cannibalistic moment.
It's nightmarish.
Trying to get out of there.
I have not driven to a game, and I'll walk down to Sunset. That's how we'll usually do it, and just get a cab or something from there.
No kidding.
Walking several miles is better than sitting like this for 2 hours.
Exactly. And then you just, whoever you're with, it's just the end of a long night, and then it never ends well.
Yeah.
Because you're staring at taillights. So I do, in fact, I sometimes get out of there in the 8th inning. I've done that.
It's
I am
tempting,
admitting
yeah.
that. I'm admitting that here.
One time in high school, me and a couple friends left in the 8th inning for that reason, because somebody had driven, and on the way out of the freeway, the hood came unlatched and smashed the windshield on the freeway, and we have not left early since then. Like, that's a sign. You can't leave.
Was that the baseball gods talking to you?
It was, yeah, very definitive statement. Yeah.
So what? The sort of like a Daffy Duck's bill slapping him in the face,
It looked like we hit a snowbank because it got very dark and the windshield, it was just like we had driven into snow all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh.
Luckily, my friend didn't panic and just stopped, and yeah, it was terrifying. So, 10 years ago, haven't left early since.
Haley Joel Osment is here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm going to ask you our poll question. Everybody here loves Dollar Shave Club. Go to dollarshaveclub.com and pick one of their 3 great razors. It's high-quality stuff, and the club makes a great Father's Day gift. Give Dad the gift that keeps on shaving. Get him a gift card at dollarshaveclub.com. I don't normally just break out into copy.
I thought that was the poll question.
No, but they sponsor the reveal of our poll question. So go for it, Chris Brockman.
NBA Finals kick off on Thursday. Who's facing more pressure in the NBA Finals, the Warriors as a team or LeBron James individually?
I got to say LeBron, because he's been there before. You know, maybe the greatest, one of the greatest players ever. The Warriors, it's their first time in 40 years, I think you said earlier. I didn't know it was so long.
Yep.
So they've already accomplished a lot just getting there. I think people expect LeBron to win. So will be great for the city of Cleveland. I'll be happy for that.
78% agree with you, LeBron James.
There you go. Pressure on him? I think he's already taken the team to a spot.
But he's still making up leaving them in the first place, though.
I know, and I think this is done. I mean, with no Kevin Love and with the supporting cast that he has around him to take him to the finals at this point in time, get past Chicago.
It's an incredible accomplishment.
I know.
Yeah.
I think he's playing with house money, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, but you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our poll question at richeisenshow.com. Still have some time to vote on it. Now, you have already seen the film.
Yes, I have.
You have. Okay. And most folks in your business are much more starstruck seeing athletes than fellow actors and actresses.
Yeah, it's true.
So having seen the movie and the people who appear in it as cameos, if they're all possible to show up tonight, which one would you be most pumped to meet?
It was weird because they were kind of all there on the same day with this huge party that we have at Turtle's house. Like, they had, like, all the LA Kings, most of the New England Patriots, Mike Tyson. That's actually, I'd be excited to see Tyson again, because that one we didn't know. That cameo we didn't expect to happen until like an hour before. Doug just sort of called him on a whim, and he showed up at the beach and was there, sitting right behind me. So
is that right?
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to chat him up?
Briefly, yeah. I did.
How'd that go?
It was good. It was. We had a nice conversation. He was there with his little daughter. So
he didn't tell you he sees dead people, did he?
No, he didn't. No.
It gets very dark when you talk to Mike Tyson very quickly. He was sitting right there back in March.
Really?
And and I asked him a question that I always give to football players, retired football players. How many downs can you give me? Is what you ask a football player. I'll give you, I'll give you 14. How many snaps can you give me? I'll give you 14 snaps, 16 snaps. So I said, how many rounds can you give me, Mike? And he goes, you mean in the ring? I'm like, yeah. How many rounds can you give me right now, if I asked you? And he goes, well, I don't want to think. I try not to think about boxing because it takes me to a very dark place. At which point I looked at the camera and go, we'll be right back here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's take a break. Let's take a break. Yeah, there he is trying to bite me in the ear. But he is as fascinating, compelling a sports figure as you can ever come across.
He really is, yeah.
Mike Tyson. Did you meet Gronk? Was Gronk on the set?
Gronk was there. Gronk shot and then came back later just to hang out. And I had gone to
That's a shock.
And that was great. And I wasn't shooting a lot that night, so we were just sitting, near set talking. And I was shooting Tusk in North Carolina and went to the Monday night game, the great Monday night game between the Patriots and the Panthers in late 2013.
Oh, that was the one where Gronk was over the middle, and you want to go ahead and say it? You want to go ahead and say it?
Luke Kuechly tackled him before the ball got there.
No flag came out.
Yeah, that was an intense game. But a friend I was down on the field taking photographs.
Oh, cool.
So his head smacked the ground like right next to me. So we were talking about that game and just how hard the turf is for those guys to go on, because I'd never been on the field for a game before.
Well, the thing is, the way I look at it always is I can't believe the refs get it right as much as they do. And I know that we just complained about there was no flag at the end of that game.
Yeah.
But how big they are, and when they put the pads on, and how fast it is, that you could see either 2 feet get down or 1 foot get down. Or
Yeah.
It's really incredible.
The finesse, especially in the back of the end zone, that they
Yeah.
just get the toe drag or something. It's an amazing thing to see. Yeah.
So do you have is it the Falcons your football team?
My dad is a Falcons
I know
fan,
that, so
and they went to the Super Bowl in '98, which was really cool for him and everything. But I did not. I was just an NFL fan as a kid, playing Madden and that sort of thing. But when I went to college in New York, when I turned 18, I became a Giants fan before they became 2-time Super Bowl champions. So that was my team. They were the underdog. The Jets were doing really well when I first moved to New York, and then the Giants went on those 2 amazing runs. So yeah, that's my team. No matter who comes to LA, like, it'll be nice to have football in Los Angeles, but I'm a Giants fan for life.
Did you see they blew up the Hollywood Park grandstand? They imploded it over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
There's a space. There's a big,
How
big,
many
big,
stadiums? Are we going to have like 5 teams in Los Angeles all of a sudden?
Yes.
Yeah.
Half of the NFL will soon play in Los Angeles after having no teams for 2+ decades. Yeah, they blew it up over the weekend.
That's cool.
It's a huge, large space.
Where? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right near LAX.
None
right
of the space. I live on the east side of Los Angeles, so it's going to be a haul going to any of these locations. But I'll be happy to have games.
No
here.
wonder. It sounds like you're walking to Dodger games all of a sudden. Good to have you here, man.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you coming in here. Congrats on the soon-to-be released Entourage, and I'd love to have you back whenever you're free.
Definitely, man.
You
Really
bet.
nice being
Haley
here.
Joel
Nice
Osment right here on the Rich Eisen Show.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.